in the dark shadows of a life torn apart by sin. He was once a notorious drug dealer. A man carrying a heavy load of pain and sins that couldn't be washed away. But just when everything seemed to have hit rock bottom, a strange light flickered. Awakening a shattered, confused soul. Could he, from the ashes of his past, find peace and redemption? This is not just the story of a criminal. It's the journey of rising above oneself. He was once a notorious drug dealer, a man living in a world full of darkness and sin. His life was deeply entangled in underground deals, where dirty money was exchanged for blood and tears. Day by day, he got caught in a spiral of addiction, violence, and suspicion. His family slowly drifted away, love faded, replaced by loneliness and coldness. One day, tragedy struck when the police raided, arresting him high on drugs with a suitcase full of white stuff. His wife, the only one who ever trusted and hoped, decided to leave, taking their young child with her. The heartbreaking cries in that cold room haunted him endlessly. This loss was not just a price paid with his freedom, but the loss of himself, the loss of what was once a warm family. Locked up in his cell, he faced countless sleepless nights, as the past flooded back in vivid detail. The screams of former friends, the tragic lives he had caused, all hammered his mind like a sledgehammer. The weight of guilt and regret was so heavy he felt like he couldn't even breathe. Having lost everything, he felt emptier than ever before. It wasn't just material loss or loss of freedom. He had lost his very soul. He had gone too far down the path of sin, and now had to pay the price with his entire life. Loneliness and despair burned like a fire in his soul, pushing him into a dead end. In his darkest moment, standing on the edge of the abyss, he wondered if there was still a glimmer of light to guide him. From that loss, his journey began. A journey to find himself again. A journey to rise above the darkness and reach toward the light. After sinking into darkness and despair for so long, he decided not to let his life drift forever in the spiral of sin. In the cold prison cell, he heard advice from a fellow inmate, a man who had walked the path of change just like him. That's when he began to realize that if he didn't wake up on his own, his life would remain trapped in old mistakes forever. Once released, he didn't return to his old ways. Instead, he sought out a small temple deep in the countryside, hoping to find peace and a new direction for his life. This was just the beginning of a difficult and challenging journey. In those early days of spiritual practice, he faced himself more honestly than ever before. Giving up drugs wasn't just about stopping substance use. It was a psychological battle, with temptation and the shadows of his past always close behind. Hours of meditation and chanting gradually brought calm to his soul. But it wasn't always easy. There were moments he wanted to give up, to return to his old life because of loneliness, fear, and self-doubt. But day by day, he patiently learned to let go, to forgive himself and the mistakes of his past. Guided by the monks, he absorbed deep lessons about karma, impermanence, and letting go. Through this, he slowly came to understand that life was not just a struggle with desire and suffering, but a journey toward enlightenment and liberation. He began to feel the meaning of love, compassion, and inner peace. This journey wasn't just an external change, but a revolution within his soul. Step by step, he realized that he was the only one who could save himself from the abyss of his past. And so, from ruins and loss, he began to rebuild his life on a foundation of awakening and hope. Day by day, under the peaceful roof of the temple, he began to feel a profound change within his soul. During quiet meditation sessions, his mind slowly escaped the chaotic whirlpool of the past, opening up to a peaceful space he had never known before. He started to awaken, realizing that life wasn't only about sin and suffering, but also held the light of forgiveness and hope. He understood that awakening wasn't just about giving up drugs or external sins, but an inner transformation, shifting from hatred, greed, and anger to compassion, love, and mindfulness. The sutras and teachings from the monks were more than just theory. They gradually became a guiding compass for every step he took. He began to see that he wasn't a hopeless sinner, but someone who could change if he truly wanted to. His mind grew clearer as each day he practiced meditation and self-reflection. He faced his past head-on, not avoiding it, but accepting and forgiving his mistakes. He learned to release the heavy burden of guilt weighing on his soul, opening his heart to receive healing from within. This awakening didn't come all at once. It was a persistent, step-by-step process, day after day. Every morning waking up in the temple, he felt a new strength. The strength of peace, faith in the future, and belief in the possibility of change. The light of enlightenment didn't just save him. It expanded his heart so he could share and help others lost on their paths. It was during these simple days of spiritual practice that he discovered the true meaning of life. Not running away from the past, but living fully in the present with gratitude and responsibility. This was awakening, the turning point that brought him back from darkness to light, from sin to his true self. After months of spiritual practice and deeply absorbing lessons on forgiveness and letting go, he made the decision to return to the outside world, a world that had once rejected and doubted him. The journey back was far from easy. Society still looked at him with suspicion, unable to erase his sinful past with mere promises. His family and loved ones, fractured by the years he was lost in drugs, still carried wounds that were slow to heal. He had to patiently rebuild trust step by step, each time summoning the strength to face doubtful eyes and harsh judgments. But this time, something inside him was different. Steadfast and sincere. He began participating in volunteer work, helping those who, like him, had lost their way. By sharing his own story, he hoped to inspire others to believe that no matter how far they've fallen, they could change if they had the courage to face themselves and the determination to try. These efforts didn't just renew his own life. They also helped dissolve the darkness lingering in the hearts of others. Gradually, he rebuilt relationships with his family, restoring bonds once thought to be lost forever. Those moments of reunion, those small smiles, were proof of the power of forgiveness and genuine change. He understood that returning home wasn't just about a place. It was about harmony between past and present, between mistakes and compassion. In society, he never stopped striving to live as his new self. Someone who had fallen to the very bottom but learned to rise again. Someone who refused to let the past define his life. Coming back was not only a rebirth, but a commitment to live better, to be a shining example for those still struggling in the dark. It was this return, with all its challenges and hardships, that strengthened his faith in life and himself, opening the door to a new chapter full of hope and meaning. After those challenging and difficult days of returning, he began to build a new life with a completely different mindset. No longer the notorious drug dealer he once was. He chose a simple, peaceful, and meaningful way of living. With each passing day, he gradually absorbed the value of inner peace and developed a strong belief in the possibility of change. He didn't live just for himself anymore. He also dedicated time to helping those who were lost, people who were once like him. By sharing his life story, he inspired and motivated them to believe that they too could stand up again and start over. He understood that life was not just about existing, but about continuously learning, growing, and giving back. His new life was built on patience, responsibility, and gratitude. Although shadows of the past sometimes still haunted him, he learned to face and overcome them with mindfulness and positive intention. Spiritual practice wasn't about escaping the world, but about living in harmony with himself and those around him, spreading positive energy and love. His steady steps on the path of spiritual growth and service made him a living symbol of awakening and transformation. He was no longer someone cast aside by society, but an inspiration, a clear testament to the power of forgiveness and the will to rise above fate. In the end, he found true peace, not from material things or fame, but from a healed heart and a liberated soul. His story is a journey from darkness to light, from loss to salvation, from despair to hope. And above all, it sends a powerful message. No matter how much life pushes us into a corner, as long as we dare to awaken and commit ourselves, anyone can keep living and find the true meaning of life. His life stands as a vivid testament to the power of change and the will to overcome darkness. From a misguided drug dealer, he walked through loss in the darkest days to find the light of spiritual practice and inner peace. That journey wasn't just redemption for himself, it's a powerful message to everyone struggling in the grip of sin and despair. Never lose faith in yourself and your ability to start over. No matter how dark the past may be, the light is always waiting at the end of the road. Awakening doesn't come from outside, it begins within the soul, when we dare to face our truths, let go, and choose love. If you're feeling lost, remember that every step forward is precious. Believe in forgiveness, believe in hope, and keep alive a small flame, the flame of life, courage, and unwavering faith. Life always gives us the chance to keep going, to begin again, and to become better with each new day.